Hey y'all, it's your girl, the Evelyn Chanel. This is the third video of this series, the healing process series, and let's just go ahead and get into it, you guys.
Flawed, beautiful creatures. We're all flawed, beautiful people. We're all flawed, beautiful creatures.
Sorry, look, I look a little comfortable, okay? I'm, look, this is me. This is who I am. Big t-shirts, sweatshirts, and jackets, okay? Period. Y'all, for real. That's me. I'm real comfortable. I'm real plain and simple. That's me. And y'all see this little puff ball action that got going. Yeah, this is my first time I didn't ever worn my hair like this. I mean, it could be zhuzhed up a little bit. I can make it look a little better. My hair's starting to dry up. I guess I should have did it after I first took my twist that out. But that's okay. Cause guess what? That's okay. That ain't what we here for. Tell them that ain't what we here for. That is not what we are here for. But that's alright, cause y'all, my hair be drawing up so bad. But it's okay. Look, I'm trying to give y'all a good angle. Y'all can be like, this good footage. But it's alright, cause guess what we doing? We gonna make a little light heart out of this little situation before we get into it, okay? So, hey, let's just go ahead and make a little. Alright, cool. Alright, so like I said, this is the third video of this series, the healing process. If you haven't watched the first couple of videos, then you don't need to be here right now, okay? So I'm gonna need you to go back, watch those two, and then come watch this one. Don't be jumping out of order, cause you gotta go in order, cause if you don't go in order, then it might not make sense, okay? In the very first video, I had some instructions, some important instructions, and I need y'all to follow them instructions. I need you. You gotta follow those instructions, okay? You got to. Because if you don't, just don't do that. So, pause, stop this, and go watch them other two videos, okay? And I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna wait on you to do that. So, go. Anyway, alright, so, okay. As you already know, I got my good old handy dandy notebook, and we are here to write down how I feel and notes and stuff. And I realized, after telling the video, after doing some of these videos, that I might not have something to write down for every one of them. Simply because, like the one with my granddaddy, there was really no notes for me to write about it, except for how I felt, and so I wrote those down. But it's not gonna be something that I can just pull from, I guess, from every video. It's not gonna happen. I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah. Alright, so this particular story is about my grandma. Sorry. This particular story is about my grandma. My grandma. Sorry. This particular story is about my grandma and how I was treated, or how I have been treated, most of my life. And the older I got, the more I realized that it had an impact on me, and I didn't even realize it. And like I said, a lot of times the stuff that happens to us when we're younger, we don't realize it. We just go with the flow, and later on down the road, you realize that, hey, something's a little, off. Not saying that you're crazy, but something just is off. And so, like I mentioned before, me just retelling these videos is me just going back, looking over, and just realizing how I've been affected, how it has played out in my life, And actually, I started seeing a counselor on campus spring 2019, towards the end of my semester. And I was talking to her about how I just wanted to be able to, you know, revisit those things and just and able to overcome them. You know, because I think it's important. I think it's important for me, you know, maybe everybody doesn't need to do this, but I think it's important for me to go back and just like not dwell on it in order to just be pissed off. Yeah. So I was talking to my counselor. I just wanted to reflect over things um and to just figure out where some of my not so good characteristics come from. And not saying that being angry, we don't need to be angry. We don't need to be angry. But not saying that it's not normal. We just have to find better ways to deal with things. We have to find better ways to release our anger, if that makes sense. And so this is the process of me doing that. But anyway, I think one of my very first memories of my grandma actually being ugly to me was one day. I think I had to be in like kindergarten because we were like writing letters or something. So I had to be in like kindergarten, and I came home with some homework and the ghetto. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyway, okay, so one day I came home with some homework as a child. Oh, yeah, I'm so tickled. I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah, it was just a lot of. I just could not get myself together. I am so sorry, Jesus. Okay, one day I came home from school, not homework. One day I came home from school and I had some homework, and like I said, I had to be in like kindergarten or something like that because we were writing. I don't know if I was writing sentences or if I was writing. I don't know if I was writing sentences or if I was writing like letters or something. No. It was letters. I know that it wasn't numbers, but you know how you had the little notebooks and they had like the big old block lines and little dot, you know, the little lines, so that you can write in between them. You can practice writing your letters and stuff and your numbers and make a sentence, all that. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so anyway, like I remember I was writing like copying. I had to be copying something. But anyway, so I was writing. I still look. The way I write now is still chicken scratch. So clearly they ain't do me no good. They ain't do me no good. But so I was writing, copying something. I was doing my homework. And a lot of times when I would get home from school, I'd be at my grandma's house. And so a lot of times my grandma would be the one to check my homework. And if it wasn't my grandma, it would be my auntie, because my mom be at work. And if it was math, it'd be my granddaddy, because he was pretty good at math. And he liked to help me with my math homework. And so, like I said, this particular day, I was doing English, apparently. And I was writing the letters, and, like, I remember it being, like, it was supposed to be an S. And, like, I literally, like, wrote the S, and, like, the bottom of the top of the S, you know how you curve? And then, so, like, here's the line. And so, like, I wrote the top of the S, and the bottom of the S, like, was on the line. I don't know how I did it, but that's what I did. And so, when I got ready to, get my homework checked, I took it to my grandma or whatever like that, and she was like, this is a C, this is supposed to be an S. And I was like, you know what, grandma, it is an S, I just kind of wrote it under the line or whatever like that. And so I remember it. I think she had the fuss, something like that, but I was just like, you know, accident, you know, whatever like that. And I ended up correcting it. That's fine or whatever like that. But that particular day when my mom got off, my grandma told my mom, I think she had to tell her that I was getting smart with her or something. Something like that. I had gotten the attitude, I had gotten smart with her. Something to that effect. And I actually got in trouble. I got in trouble. And I was kind of upset because I didn't see it as disrespect, and it wasn't me being ugly, because at that time I was a child, you know. And not saying that children can't have attitudes, but I didn't have those problems. Like all of my teachers from literally kindergarten to 12th grade, I've never had a problem like that to where I've gotten an attitude with teachers. I've always been a very respectful child, you know. And so for her to tell my mom that I had gotten an attitude with her, and I was like, I ain't do that. And I actually got in trouble. Like, my feelings was hurt because I was just like, I'm getting in trouble for no reason. And so I realized that that would happen a lot. I would literally be getting in trouble for no reason. Or the situations would be blown out of proportion. And of course, being that that was my mom, she was going to believe her mom, you know. Not saying that I was an untrustworthy kid or had problems or anything like that, but she was an adult and I was a child, and a lot of times adults take the word of the other adult over the child because they see it as if we're trying to get out of trouble, which I understand. You know, I can't be mad at that, but this particular time, I wasn't trying to get out of trouble. I was honestly innocent, you know. And a couple of times after that, I was honestly, you know, innocent. And yeah, I think one of the other memories that I can remember is I had done all my homework and stuff, came home from school. I had done all my homework, and I really don't even remember what grade I was in. I done all my homework, and at this particular time, my auntie she was in the house with my grandparents, and so my auntie was there. And I had done all my homework. I think this particular day, my auntie had actually helped me with my homework, and I had worked hard that day. My auntie was the type of person to where, and I love my TT, I really do. My TT was the type of person to where when she would help me with homework, she would give me like objects, and so like she got me like erasers and pencil sharpeners in order for me to do my math homework, so that I could see, you know, you add this much, you take away this much, you know. That's why I said I had to be in like kindergarten, first grade, something like that. So I could see it visually in order for me to understand why 2 + 2 = 4, or, you know, 5 - 2 was 3. You know, so I could see it, you taking away and adding. And so, like I said, my TT was there. She had helped me with my homework. And I wanted to go outside because I was a child. That's what you do. That's what kids want to do. They want to go outside. They want to go play. This, that, and the other. And I remember my auntie was like, you know, hey, go ask grandma or whatever like that. And so I went and asked my grandma, and my grandma was like, no, you're not going outside. You need to read a book. Go read a book. And, you know, and I just remember, you know, I don't remember the exact dialect or whatever else my grandma said after that, but I remember my auntie taking up for me, and my auntie being like, she's a child, you know, that's what children want to do. They want to play. Why can't she go play? She's done her homework. She, you know, did what she's supposed to do. You know, why can't she go outside and play? You know, what's wrong with her going outside and going and playing or whatever like that? And I ended up going outside to play that day because I had someone there in my corner to actually see how she was treating me. That's how I see it. That's how I feel. I actually had someone to see her doing it. And then I remember something like that happened similar again. And the next time, it was my granddaddy, you know, helping me or sticking up for me and just being like, she's a child. Why can't she go outside? Why can't she play? She's done her homework. You see her sitting here at the table.
Because that's what I did. I'd come in, you know, grab my homework and go, you know, to the dining room table, and I would sit there and I'd do my homework. And this was where a lot of dialect between me and my granddaddy would happen, because I would be sitting right there and he'd be on the couch watching TV. And so I'd be doing my homework and being able to spend time with my granddaddy as well.
And so, like I said, I think I know I cherish the moments, because those weren't just those moments, you know. Those weren't the only 2 moments that happened or 3 moments that happened. There were other moments, you know, other encounters where she was like really mean to me, like, and I just remember being grateful for when there were people around to take up for me, adults around to take up for me when I couldn't take up for myself, because I was a child, and you know, a lot of times whatever the adult says, that's what goes. And a lot of times, she would tell my mom stuff, and I would actually get in trouble for it. And you know, there was no one around to vouch for me or to say, hey, she didn't do that, because a lot of times, and I know y'all think, okay, like, well, then where was your granddaddy? Granddaddy wasn't always there, you know. There were times with my grandma, because like there are 3 rooms in my grandparents' house. There's my grandparents' room, and then there's at the time my TT's room and my uncle's room. And so a lot of times I would go to the back room and watch TV in that room, or sometimes I would be in my TT's room when she wasn't there, and my grandma would come back there to what she knew, because like I said, my granddaddy he had a set schedule. And so a lot of times when I was out of school, after I would get done with my homework, he would still be on the couch. So my grandma would come back there, and she would say ugly things to me then. Do I remember her, like, not per se that she was just cussing me out or just like calling me nasty or anything like that, but it was just the way that she talked to me. And I can't tell you what the reason behind her treating me like that was. Okay, guys, we have to be selfish. And when I say that, what I mean is we can't think about the other person, what caused them to treat us the way that they did, or, you know, what happened. We have to put ourselves first, because we can't fix them, but we can fix ourselves. So we have to put ourselves first. You don't know. It's not for me to understand what God wants me to, know what it is, and He'll reveal that to me. But until then, I just won't know, and I won't pursue, you know, the situation to know. I'll just let it be, you know, what it is. I just remember being younger and just going through specific things with my grandma and not understanding what I was doing or why I deserved to be treated or called out the way I was. Why she was being mean to me. A lot of times I was the only grandchild, you know, because I actually stayed in the city with my grandparents. So I was the grandchild that was always there, that was always around, that was always doing this. You need this, I do this. I was the one that was always there every day. I'd come home, I'd be there until it was time for me to go home, and then I start all over again in the morning. I was always there. And so I remember, I can't remember if it was Christmas or if it was Easter. It was something like that. And like I said, I was always there. I was the grandchild that was always present. Always there. And I remember whatever this holiday was, my grandma had got a bunch of blankets for her grandchildren. Like, all of her grandchildren, she had got them a blanket. And she was getting ready, and I ended up walking in the room. She was putting the names on them or something like that. And she had even gotten blankets for her great-grands too. And I kid you not, you guys, she had gotten blankets for all of them, everybody except for me. And I ended up getting a blanket that was supposed to go to my nephew, just because he wasn't here or whatever. And so, like, I remember just going through that, and I think I still had that blanket somewhere. But it's just like, you know, could literally hear her going through the names. This blanket is for this person. This blanket is for this person. This blanket is for this person. I know y'all think a blanket, Chanel, like, I'm pretty sure you got a whole bunch of blankets. You know, why would you be upset over one blanket? And at the time, I really wasn't upset, because I was just like, oh, well, she forgot about me, it's fine. And then as I got older and I thought about this story again, like I said, you guys, I was the grandchild that was always there. You know, and some of y'all may be thinking, well, maybe she didn't get you one because you are always there. She always gets you everything else. That's not the case, you know. She had gotten a blanket for all her grandchildren except for me. And it was just like, why. And when she realized that I had seen the blankets is when she was like, well, here, take this one. You can have this one. Which, like I said, was the one that just so happened to be for my nephew, who at the time I believe was staying in Texas. So he wasn't here. He was a baby. So, yeah. I think what finally, like, hit the nail on the head, like I said, I had been going through stuff like this for a lot my childhood because of the situation that I was in. I had to be at my grandparents' house a lot. And so I would go through this treatment. If not every day, every other day, like, honestly. You know, it was something, you know. And so I remember it was after my grandfather had passed away. And by this time, like I said, I'm in high school. And at the time, I was talking to this guy. And I had asked him to come over or whatever like that, you know. And I was in my grandparents' house. He didn't stay too far from my grandparents' house, like literally walking distance. And so I had asked him to come over. And, you know, we were just literally sitting on the couch watching TV in the living room. In the living room. And so, I can't remember if my mom just so happened to be on the phone, but she was somewhere where she could hear closely. And I remember my grandma walking in, like, literally, y'all, this is me, and he just sitting beside me. That's it, that's all. I done did some crazy things in my life, but at this particular time, I was honestly not even doing anything. We was literally just sitting there watching TV. That's it. And she walks in. She said something to the fact that you all nasty heifer or something like that, and she just trying to make it seem like we was doing something we ain't had no business. And like literally, I want to say that might have been the first time he had ever came over there. So it's just like, what you mean, you know? Like, I ain't even did nothing. I'm just sitting here. And it kind of had hurt my feelings, but like I said at the time, I'm older now, so I'm just like, what? You know, and I'm looking at him, and he's, you know, he looking at me like, God, dog, you know. And so now you just didn't embarrass me in front of this dude. You don't know if this my friend, if I'm trying to talk, or whatever it is. But you didn't embarrass me in front of him. It just so happened this day, my mama hears her, and she comes out the room, and she's like, what did you just say to her? Like, literally, she's sitting there. She ain't did nothing. They sitting there watching TV. They in the living room, let alone. So what can they do in the living room? And she was just like, really? And she was like, my child ain't got to put up with this. And that particular day, she was like, Chanel, let's go. Let's go. We leaving. And so my mama, we politely got up and we left. And that was the day when my mom, when I actually just told my mom that, hey, this isn't the first time it happened. This has been happening. She's been doing stuff like this. And I remember my mom asking me, why hadn't I told her? And I was just like, I didn't want to make the situation more difficult than what it was, because I knew that if I had told you that, you wouldn't want me to come over here anymore. And we would just have to figure things out again. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to complicate things more than they already were. And I think I realized that's a characteristic that I have now. A lot of times I'm quiet. I don't say anything because I don't want to make other people uncomfortable. I don't want to inconvenience other people. And so, like I said, that was one of the first times. That was the first time my mom had actually heard my grandma talking to me like that. And that was just a conversation we had. And then, like I said, and I guess after my granddaddy passed away, like, of course she was hurt and she was angry. But as if my whole childhood hadn't been enough, I became her target even more. I remember another incident, because after my granddaddy passed away, I was the one that stayed, like, right when I say right after my granddaddy passed away, I was the one that stayed with my grandma. I was the one that was there. And so I remember one particular night I was on the phone, and it was just like she would always watch me like a hawk, if that made sense. Like she was waiting on me to do something, as if she was listening through the door. Like, cause I remember I backtrack. I remember one particular night, and it wasn't even night. It was like early morning. But I was in my auntie's room at the time, and my auntie wasn't there, and my sister had given me a phone, and the phone had started acting up, and I didn't know what to do, and the only thing that I could really do was make calls. I think my messages weren't sending or something like that. And so, like, it's every bit of 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, y'all. Okay? And so, like, I'm literally on the phone, trying to call my sister, and I know it's early in the morning, so I'm whispering. Like, I'm quiet. Like, I'm like, hey, the phone, it won't send my messages. I don't know what's going on. And I remember my grandma, like, busting through the door and, like, being like, who you on the phone with? And why you on the phone? It's too early to be on the phone. I'm like, I'm on the phone with my sister. She's like, why you calling her, waking her up? Give me the phone. Give me the phone. And I'm just like, first of all, how you know I'm on the phone? Like, I could have sworn I was in here whispering, you know? And, you know, I would say, oh, Chanel, you know, you being dramatic, but it had happened too many times where I just felt like she was just waiting on me to do something wrong, And so, I remember one particular night, like I said, I don't know if it was an issue going on, or something had happened, I believe, between me and some of my friends. Or somebody had made my friend upset or something. And so, of course, like, I'm such a solid person that, like, I'm one of those people that ride for the people that I'm with. Like, stupid of me. But I am, you know, in something, like, in situations like, you made my friend mad, you made me mad. Like, we a package deal. Like, I'm that friend, that loyal friend. And so, this particular day, my friend had to be calling me. She was upset or something. Like I said, this time it was after my granddad had passed away. And like I said, I was the one that was always around after my granddad passed away. I was always there. Like, right after he passed away, I was the one that was there. And so I remember being on the phone, and I might have had the house phone, is what it was. I was using the house phone to do something, and I was trying to call and text my boyfriend at the time or something like that and tell him what was going on. And I was on the phone with my friend. I believe that's how I ended up having the house phone. And I had the phone on speaker, because I just wanted him to hear what was going on. Like, I wanted him to hear the story. I don't know how he was connected. I really don't remember how he was connected to the story or what it was, but I just wanted him to hear what was going on. And so, like I said, I'm in the back room. As far as I know, my grandma was in the front. And I was upset. I was mad. I was upset. And whatever the story was, I was upset. And so I remember me being on the phone, and of course I'm pretty sure I did get loud because I was upset. Like I said, I can't remember the specific situation, you guys, and I'm so upset. But I was upset. I was pissed off, and like, she was telling me what was going on, and he could hear her or whatever like that. And he like, what? You know, what? That's crazy or whatever. And she like, yeah. And I'm like pissed off, and so we talking back and forth, but he can hear me. And I don't know why I just in three-way. I wonder, it had to be more than one person on the phone is what it was, as to why I couldn't put him on three-way. Because I think it was actually him that was on the house phone. And it was my friend, and then one of her friends that was on the phone, so they were explaining the situation, and he was on the house phone so that he could hear what was going on. And like I said, they just, of course, it's a lot of talking. I'm like, man, what? I'm pissed off. Like, that's crazy, or whatever like that. And they talking about what's going on. And next thing I know, my grandma busts through the phone and she like, you in here being messy and whoop, 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 whoop. And I remember this particular time, like I said, I was already upset. I was already pissed off. And I was just like, I'm sick of this. Like, that was the moment when I realized that I was sick of being treated the way I was being treated. It had finally clicked that you have been doing this to me. And of course, I'm back here being loud now. Today I'm being loud, but it had finally clicked in me that I am tired of you treating me like this. I am tired. I'm not your punching bag. Like, I understand you are hurt, but you are not the only person that was hurt. Yes, that was your husband. I understand that. But we are all hurting, and I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to be your punching bag, and I won't be your punching bag anymore. And so I remember hanging up the phone on everybody, like I said, because once again, she didn't embarrass me and yell at me in front of my friends. And so I hang up the phone and I call my mom and I'm like, Mama, I'm sick of this. I got to go. Come get me. Come get me. Come get me. And my mama comes get me. She comes and gets me. And by this time, my sister had moved back home. And she comes and gets me. And I go home. And my mama decides to stay with my grandma so that my grandma isn't the only one at the house by herself. And it kind of upset me because I was just like, this is the reason I didn't say anything, because all these years, stuff like this, just because I didn't want to stay there, now my mama has to go stay there. And I didn't want nobody being treated the way I was being treated. And so after that point, I remember it went from me being the one staying there by myself to me and my sister staying there. And my sister being able to be the one that was in the house that could see firsthand how she had been treating me. And of course, it was enhanced because now my granddaddy has passed away and my grandma is grieving. But it was at that point I feel like that the rest of my family had gotten to see the person that I knew. And I remember when I first started telling my family, my mom and my sister, about it, my sister was like, well, if it's just the fuss and stuff, that's how granddaddy used to be. She was just like, but, you just got to catch the later glimpse of granddaddy where he was real chill. He was older and he didn't want to fuss. And I was just like, no, I don't believe that's what it was, And like I said, my family, and now, cause like my grandma she's sick, she has dementia, so and so now she has dementia. She's starting to, her brain is starting to deteriorate, and it has come to the point to where I know there's no real way for me to get closure or to sit down and have a conversation with her and be like, hey grandma, this is how I have been feeling and this is how you treated me for all these years, and I just want to know why. I won't get to do that because she probably doesn't remember half the stuff that she did. And so, like I said, once my granddaddy passed away and once she started to get sick, because I remember the year my granddaddy passed away, she had gotten like really sick. She was losing weight. She had lost a lot of weight because she was going through a hard time. She was sad, hurt. Her other half was gone. And so she was trying to deal with that. And like when I said she got sick. And just after my granddaddy passed away, the rest of my family, well, some of my family, I can't speak for all of my family, but they have gotten to see the things that I have seen, the hurt feelings that I have felt all of my life. And I don't think a lot of my family knows that this was how I was being treated. They don't know that I was going through this because, like I said, for so long I was quiet. I didn't even tell my mom. And it kind of messes you up because you're just like, as a child, once again, you're just like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, why are you so upset with me? Why are you so mad at me? And you never really understand. And it's just like, I was at a point to where I was like, I felt like I'd never get those answers as to why would you do this? Why would you treat me like this? Why am I having to go through this? What did I do to you? But I have gotten to a point to where I am and have been trying to, and I think this is really my turning point. Me doing these videos has become my turning point in more than one ways, but particularly with this story, I have come to the realization that I need to stop asking why this happened to me, why you did this to me, and let's begin to do what I can do for myself. And so it'll go from being, why did you do this to me? Why did I have to go through this? To, okay, what did this do to me? And how has it affected me? And how has it played out in the rest of my life? And so that is what I am doing now. Going on this journey and thinking about these things and how they have affected me. And how I have reacted and how it has played out in other situations that I have gone through, and how I can be better and how I can just really truly find closure between me and Jesus, and just being able to go about life and not allowing these things to have a hold over me anymore, and no longer being able to use this as an excuse or a crutch. And so, yeah, you guys, that was that story. I hope you guys have learned something. I hope you guys were able to connect in some kind of way. And we're about to do this, you guys. We're about to do this. We're about to get over this. We're about to jump this hurdle. It's going to be okay. We're about to get through this. And I think I'm excited. I'm relieved. Because the enemy can no longer have a hold on us. He can no longer use these things, these memories, to torment us anymore. Because now they are being brought to the light. And just because you guys aren't making a video and posting it doesn't mean it hasn't been brought to the light. You know, just you simply reflecting and realizing how you were hurt, and realizing, you know, the characteristics that came as a result of this, that is bringing it to the light. And so now we must give it over to God and allow Him to work through us and heal us, so that we are able to go about and just be better people. Just be better people. That we're no longer hurting people that we didn't even realize, you know. So yeah. And let's just keep going. We're not going to stop here. For the healing process, it has just begun. These are the first steps. These are the first steps. So let's go. Let's get through it. We're going to get through this together. Like I said, I'm right here going through this with y'all. Like, literally, I'm going through this with y'all. So just keep holding on and just bear with me, you guys, as we bear with each other. Let's just do this. Let's do this.